Hey, welcome back. Tongyeong is a small port city on Korea's southern coast where the food scene punches way above its weight and the islands outnumber the buildings. Get the timing wrong on the ferries or the food stalls, and you'll spend half the trip waiting in lines instead of eating squid on a white sand isthmus. I already mapped out the whole 3-day route in a template, so if you want it, the link's in the description. Summer here sits around 25 to 32 degrees, with sea breezes that make the humidity tolerable, and the daylight stretches long enough to justify a full island day without rushing. Day 1 stays on the mainland, painted alleys, a market that predates most countries, and a harbor that saves its best look for after dark. Dongpirang is a steep residential hill where every wall, staircase, and fence became a canvas about 15 years ago because the city was about to demolish the neighborhood and residents fought back with paintbrushes instead of protests. The murals rotate roughly every 2 years, so whatever photo pulled you here may already be gone. The hill keeps rewriting itself. Narrow staircases squeeze between houses, cats nap under half the murals, and somewhere near the top there's a clifftop observatory that gives you the best overhead view of the harbor and the scattered islands beyond. Get here before 9 cooler stairs, softer light, and a real chance at an empty alley before the tour groups clog the narrowest stairways. You walk downhill from Dongpirang straight into Jungang Market, which has been feeding sailors and dock workers for nearly 400 years. This is where Chungmu kimbap was born, plain rice, no seaweed wrapper, with squid salad and radish kimchi served on the side, because sailors needed food that wouldn't spoil at sea. Aunties and red aprons debone anchovies by hand, the honey bread aroma cuts right through the fish smell, and the best stalls sell out by early afternoon. Bring cash, most stalls don't take cards, and find Tongbo Hamai Gimbap if you want the famous Chungmu kimbap, or just follow any line for the honey bread. Gangguan Port is the center of gravity for the entire city. The ferries leave from here, the fishing boats dock here, and full-size turtle ship replicas sit moored on the western side. You can actually walk onto those replicas' armored roofs with spikes to prevent boarding, cannon ports, the dragon head prow, the closest you'll get to standing on a 16th century warship. Tongyeong literally means command post, and this harbor was Admiral Yi Sun-sin's base during the Imjin War in the 1590s. Come back after sunset when the promenade lights up, the fishing boats glow at their moorings, and the bridge reflections turn the water into something unexpectedly cinematic. Day 2 is the island day morning with Korea's most famous admiral on his wartime headquarters. Afternoon on a white sand isthmus where 2 islands are stitched together by a beach. A 30-minute ferry ride lands you on Hansando, the island where Admiral Yi Sun-sin ran the Korean Navy during the 1590s war against Japan. He's on the 100 won coin. He's in every textbook, and this was his nerve center. The Battle of Hansando destroyed roughly 100 Japanese ships and halted their advance along the southern coast, and Yi was outnumbered when he did it. The man was arrested, tortured, demoted, and then reinstated because the people who replaced him kept losing. He won every battle he fought, while his superiors kept trying to fire him. Book the ferry in advance because summer weekends fill up, and check the schedule the night before. A canceled boat can reshape your whole day. Bijindo is the decompression, a pair of rocky islands connected by a 550-meter isthmus of white sand, which means you can stand at the midpoint with water on 3 sides and watch the afternoon light hit both coastlines. Sandy beaches are genuinely rare along the stretch of Korean coast, which is mostly rocky, and that's the real reason locals rate this island above the others. The Ridge Trail gives you the aerial view that makes sense of the shaped 2 landmasses, one narrow sandy neck, pine trees behind the beach providing shade. Pack food and water because the island runs on what appears to be 1 chicken restaurant and a few pensions, and verify your return ferry time before you disembark. Day 3 goes from sea level to the sky and back a cable car over the ocean, turtle ships you can walk through, and a bridge that saves its best look for sunset. At 1,975 meters, this is the longest tourist cable car in Korea, and unlike most ropeways, it goes over the sea first, and then up the mountain. The transition mid-ride is genuinely cinematic. 9 minutes suspended above the Hallyo-Sudo waterway, ending at the 461-meter summit of Mireuksan, with a panorama of hundreds of scattered islands across Hallyo-Hawisang National Park. The actual summit is another 15-minute walk past the upper station. Do the extra walk because the view difference is significant. Pre-book tickets online to skip the main queue at the lower station because summer weekends can mean an hour-long wait if you just show up. Isimsin Park pulls together everything you've been hearing about the Admiral for 2 days. 4 full-size turtle ship replicas moored near the waterfront that you can walk on board and explore. Spiked armored roofs to prevent boarding, cannon ports for broadside attacks, a dragon head on the these were the ironclads of their era, and now you can stand inside one. The park is free, mostly flat, open to sea breezes, and the hydrangea gardens are better than they sound. Enter from the harbor side for the most direct approach to the replicas, and take the walking path slow. This is the decompression between the cable car and the sunset. The Tongyeong Daegyo Bridge is a cable-stayed structure connecting the mainland to Mireuksan Island, and you've been walking around it for 3 days without realizing it's about to become your favorite photo of the trip. It's attractive enough by day, but after dark the illumination kicks in and the lit cables reflecting off calm harbor water turn it into something that doesn't look like a functioning road bridge. Arrive about 30 minutes before sunset from the eastern bank viewpoint. That's the classic composition for the golden hour light catching the cables, and then the blue hour transition as the artificial lights take over. Cloudy evenings dim the golden hour, but the bridge lights still work, so don't skip it just because the sunset isn't perfect. 3 days of painted alleys, 400-year-old markets, an admiral who never lost, and islands that make you forget there's a schedule that's Tongyeong. The whole route's in that template with every stop pinned on a map, so grab it from the description and drag things around until the trip fits you. Drop a comment if there's a Tongyeong spot you'd swap in or something you'd skip entirely. I read all of them.